Hello and welcome back to Mere Review. Imagine a business that makes billions of dollars every year by exploiting the most vulnerable people in society. A business that thrives on creating and maintaining a problem rather than solving it. A business that benefits from the suffering of millions of people who have no place to call home. Sounds like a nightmare, right? Well, this is not a fictional scenario. This is the reality of the homeless industrial complex. The homeless industrial complex is a term that describes the network of actors and institutions that profit from homelessness. These include developers, contractors, bureaucrats, nonprofits, politicians, and media outlets. In this video, we will expose how the homeless industrial complex is making billions off the misery of the poor and what we can do to stop it. Point 1. The homeless industrial complex inflates the cost of housing and shelters, making them unaffordable for the homeless and low-income people. In Los Angeles, the city spent $1.2 billion to build 10,000 units of housing for the homeless, but the average cost per unit was $531,000, more than the median price of a condo in the city. In New York, the city paid $3,000 per month for each hotel room rented for the homeless during the pandemic, while the average rent for a one-bedroom apartment was $2,500. Analysis. The high cost of housing and shelters is driven by the interests of the developers and contractors who lobby for lucrative contracts and subsidies from the government. They also inflate the cost of land, materials, and labor and add unnecessary features and amenities to the projects. The result is that the homeless and low-income people are priced out of the market, and the housing and shelter supply remains inadequate. Point 2. The homeless industrial complex perpetuates the cycle of homelessness rather than providing effective solutions and services. In New York, the city spent $3.2 billion on homeless services in 2020, but the number of homeless people increased by 7% to 79,000. In Canada, the federal government invested $2.1 billion in the homelessness partnering strategy from 2014 to 2019. But the number of homeless people remained around 235,000. Analysis. The homeless industrial complex relies on the existence of homelessness to justify its funding and operations. Therefore, it does not address the root causes of homelessness, such as poverty, unemployment, mental illness, addiction, and domestic violence. Instead, it provides temporary and superficial solutions, such as emergency shelters, soup kitchens, and street outreach. These services do not help the homeless people to achieve stability and independence, but rather keep them dependent and marginalized. Point 3. The homeless industrial complex exploits the homeless people for political and financial gain while silencing their voices and needs. In San Francisco, the city spent $16.1 million to rent 262 hotel rooms for the homeless during the COVID-19 pandemic, but only 25% of them were occupied. In India, the government allocated 100 crore rupees, about $13.5 million, for the construction of 100,000 shelters for the homeless in 2010, but only 11,000 were built by 2018. Analysis. The homeless industrial complex uses homeless people as pawns and props for political and financial gain. Politicians and nonprofits use homeless people to attract votes, donations, and media attention while ignoring their actual needs and preferences. They also impose rules and regulations on homeless people, such as curfews, drug tests, and mandatory services that violate their rights and dignity. Homeless people have no say or choice in the matter, and are often criminalized and stigmatized for their situation. The homeless industrial complex is a corrupt and cruel system that makes billions off the misery of the poor. It is not a solution to homelessness, but a part of the problem. It is time to expose and dismantle the homeless industrial complex and demand real and lasting solutions for the homeless people. Solutions that respect their human rights, dignity, and agency. Solutions that empower them to achieve self-sufficiency and integration. Solutions that end homelessness once and for all. Join the conversation in the comment section and let us know, what do you think about the homeless industrial complex? Thanks for watching.